Back to National Geographic Explorer and Bob Ballard.
They look like alien vehicles. Nicknamed Desert Rose and Chariot of the Sun, they've entered the first transcontinental solar-powered car race. For 2,000 miles across Australia's sun-scorched outback, they'll compete. Professional designers, engineers, students, and dreamers. Some are there for the great adventure, while others come to see the future on wheels.
Australia, a land of legends and the harsh beauty of the outback. It is the perfect setting for an incredible journey. A race across one of the oldest continents on Earth, in cars powered only by the sun. An historic challenge from Australia to solar car designers around the world. Hawaii, the Big Island. John Paul Mitchell Systems, one of the several American teams competing in the Australian race, is designing and building their solar car in a unique setting. A solar ranch nestled high on the slopes of Mauna Kea.
Our dream was to have a first-class place to live that was not reliant on anything, not dependent upon anything other than ourselves and what we've created on the land. We created a spot that has no lines coming in, no wires, no outside utilities that are paid. It's all done right here.
We wanted to have a place that we'd never starve, never go hungry, have all the power we needed so that we could drive our vehicles around, so that we could have our stereos in our houses, so that we could live a real comfortable life and nobody could make it or take it away from us. These are solar trackers, and they swing around during the day and catch the maximum amount of sun, and we have a whole way of getting around and living here without ever having to spend another penny.
Driving into Los Angeles. Before we built the solar car, this was the fastest car on the land. Solar power on top, candy apple red in color, and it's the hot rod of the ranch. This was kind of the forerunner to our solar energy car. So I could zip through our trees and our flowers, and I could pick up vegetables as they go along and have a real comfortable way of seeing the land here and getting from one end to another. From developing fruit trees and solar energy power, we evolved into a workshop.
Hey guys.
Place for Jonathan and the group to work. And then, of course, the solar energy car came along, and that is really the ultimate in our expression.
No. We've got to watch all the open areas underneath where the wheels are.
The Hawaiian car, with its unique arching wing, which acts as a sail, will enable them to utilize not only the sun for power, but also the wind.
Okay, let's take it off sideways and let's go Malca with it when we come off here.
I think this is a sensational step, what's taken place. A group of people that are into nature and into the land have built a fabulous solar energy car that's going to change the world's thinking and the future of transportation. And here we are putting it on the trailer for the first time for the first run. We are excited.
Let's go! 25 amps, full acceleration, both motors. Running at 25 amps still. 50 amps at about 40 miles an hour. She wants to go faster.
The wind's taking over. I'm off acceleration just by the wind. It's a fantastic feeling.
35, 40, into neutral, and we're cruising.
This thing's phenomenal. My God, the boys on the farm did a great job. Solar race car by farmers. This is fabulous. Oh, I love it.
Mesa, Arizona, the General Motors Proving Ground, testing site of the GM Sunracer solar car.
We're simulating being a race day today, we're trying to get in and out, feel comfortable with pit stops and getting the drivers in the car and back out of the car quickly. I don't think we'd ever do this many driver changes over in Australia. We're going to try to go longer, as you lose a lot of time every time you stop and pick back up. I got a quick run and get in this car as we're timing them. Thank you.
GM selected the 6 drivers from their divisions around the world, as well as from the car's designers, AeroVironment.
How was it? Comfortable as usual, and you get very excited every time you are in there, and you feel so comfortable you could go on for hours.
After studying the course from Darwin all the way to Adelaide, we know what sample surfaces are, and we've simulated various sections of this course to approximate the conditions we're going to have over there.
Now going to 0.6 amps battery current.
Roger, 0.6 amps. Telemetry confirms the new current, over. We're right alongside you. Be advised, no other traffic out on the course at the present time, over.
The World Solar Challenge is the first solar car race across a continent. It begins in the semi-tropical Northern Territory, passes through the arid red center, and ends in the cool temperatures of South Australia. Extending from Darwin to Adelaide, a total of over 3,000 kilometers, almost 2,000 miles, the route is the Stuart Highway, the only road from top to bottom. The teams converge in Darwin. A total of 23 entrants from all over the world, unveiling their cars to the public. And for the first time, seeing what they're up against. Qualifying starts immediately. Tests for safety, weight, braking ability, and of course, time trials to determine positions at the starting line. The final test, stability. It's crucial that the relatively unprotected solar cars can withstand the high winds of the notorious Australian road trains.
I think what you have here is like the first days of aircraft. It's vehicles that try to solve a problem that's unsolved at the moment, and everybody has their own solution, and so you have things which go all the way from super streamlined to practically unstreamlined. You have things that have tilting panels, you have things that have flat panels, you have every solution in the world to a problem which nobody knows what's the best way to do. It's like the first days of the Wright brothers. It's a great thing, just absolutely a great thing. It's going to be really exciting to see who has the right idea, and we should know that in about 6 days, I think.
Scary.
Nice. Not as nice as ours, but it's nice.
There's going to be some competition. It wouldn't be any fun without competition.
As the Chief Minister drops the flag, that will start officially the
race day at last. The cars take their positions, and last-minute adjustments are made in the final prep for the start.
We're just all set. We've never been more motivated as a team than we are right now. With all the energy and all these great people that we have here, boy, we're going to give it one hell of a run for its money.
Just really excited. You know, we've been preparing so long that you just can't wait for the start to begin. Unless you could start right now.
Well, it's 25 to 8, and at 7:45 we'll be forming a circle around the car. All of the people that have worked on it and all of our crew. We like to follow the traditions of all the ancient civilizations, the Indians, and think of the power they gathered up, and as they gathered hands and caused the earthly and the worldly energies to flow through our bodies and through our car, and create the most exciting, powerful energy that we can muster between ourselves. And it's those energies that make our car different from any other one. It's magic.
Germany, Switzerland, the United States, take a start. 1 minute to go, ladies and gentlemen, for the start of the race.
What I love about it is the very unpredictability of what might happen. Because it's never been done before, I've got no idea whether we're going to be able to get right through to Adelaide or only get a quarter of the way. But whatever it is, it'll be exciting.
We're ready. We're ready. The car's right here. Ready.
Ready to go.
Ready.
Yeah, we're going over our checklist right now.
All ready?
I said, g'day. No worries. See you in Adelaide.
The GM Sunracer and the Hawaiian car pull far ahead of the others, neck and neck for the lead. In a contest between individuals and corporations, between $1,000 and $1 million cars, everyone shares the same requirement. They all have only 8 square meters of the Earth's surface to gather the sun.
Is on the left, so I've currently set up the press stop to maximize.
The town of Catherine, the first of 7 official media stops that each car must make. The stop can mean a brief rest or a driver change, but in this case, it's the first indication of the front runner, and in order to keep up with GM, the Hawaiians are pushing their batteries to the limit.
About 5 minutes back when we last tracked them. They're coming in.
17 minutes behind the GM Sunracer, the Hawaiian car pulls into Catherine in second place. They'll have to wait the required 10 minutes before taking up the pursuit of the General Motors car.
How you doing?
We can win. We can get them.
How you feeling?
Great.
Three, 2, 1. There you go.
Going really good. We haven't been able to take advantage of the wind yet, but everything else is running really fine. The car's running excellent. Everyone's spirits are great, and we can't wait to catch a little bit of wind.
When Explorer continues, a sudden storm puts a damper on the race.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
With the first and second place cars through Catherine, Ford takes advantage of the water to cool down the solar panels, which lose efficiency in the heat.
They're in the back of my brown vehicle.
Short on battery power right now. And the winds haven't come up today at all. It's 3:45 and no winds, and as you know, we were counting on winds, so we have a somewhat of a problem right now.
Farther up the road at Tennant Creek, we know that there's winds 90% of the time, so we'll be able to make up this distance between us and GM with no problems in the next day or two. We're not worried. No worries.
As the day wears on, the various teams begin to spread out along the Stewart Highway.
Team Marsupial itself is just a group of Australian enthusiasts from the universities, from the research institutions who have built it in a carport in a backyard of a Sydney suburb. all voluntary labour and begging and borrowing all the bits and pieces. I think in the true way of low technology, or high technology you could call it. And the other thing is that we are on this trip really for the great adventure. It's so unpredictable what's going to go wrong.
Another team for the great experience is the Warrigal Technical School.
We're just basically a secondary school, not even a college. We just go from year 7 to 12. We've had about 15 students working on this for the whole year now. We didn't get a big sponsor, we got all local sponsors from Warrigal itself.
Yeah, it's really great fun. Best thing I've ever done in school. Best school activity. Most alcohol we've ever had on a school activity, and good parties.
You're going to lead us through the bush. Well, okay, at least you continue, don't stay.
No. Well, maybe it depends.
Yeah?
Yeah, depends. If we want to recharge as much as possible. The sun is good now.
For you, because you take most
of it. But if we drive now for another hour, or what's left, 45 minutes,
you wouldn't gain
we may be in problems tomorrow, and I'd rather be in good shape tomorrow.
Right.
So,
well, we might continue to Mataranka. They have a nice pool, I understood, where we could have a swim, you know. See you, bye.
It's the 5 o'clock deadline, and by the rules of the race, everyone must stop and set up camp wherever they are. They'll have 2 hours to charge the batteries before covering the solar panels for the night. They'll continue charging for 2 hours in the morning to be ready to race again at the 8 a.m. start.
Okay. Today we were really surprised to be at the second place today, because in Darwin we had the occasion to see the other participants, and we saw what Ford can do, we saw what the Hawaiian team can do, and they were really good in the race, the Hawaiian team in special. And we were surprised to see how they didn't manage to have a good place today. They took too much energy from the batteries, so they had problems towards the end of the day to have enough energy for racing.
We just put it into an angle where we get more sun. We get more sun on more of our panels to get a higher current flow into the batteries.
We're the heaviest vehicle in the race, close to 420 kilos. All the others are running with silver zinc batteries, and we're running with lead acid batteries, normal car batteries, and ours weigh 3 times the weight of theirs. And Ford had worked out an equation that said that for every kilo you lose a kilometre a day. So we've got 45 extra kilos of batteries compared to them. So that's why we're probably lagging behind.
Now I'll explain how it works. There are solar cells, and the sun hits the solar cells and it turns the sun into electricity, then runs down to those little black units which are electric motors, and they turn the wheel. And the car has about 1 horsepower, which is, do you know how much your dad's car would be? Be 150 horsepower. So this is less than 1/100th of the power of Dad's car. But it can go along at 55 kilometres an hour. Do you know why it can go so fast? It's very light, and it's aerodynamically very good. So it just slips through the air.
"6 a.m., first light. The solar arrays are uncovered and tilted to catch the morning sunrise. These 2 hours are important to the teams, who want to store as much energy as possible before getting underway again.
We are able to show the secret weapon of our team. This is a 100-to-1 scale model, and as soon as it goes, we know how fast we may go. And today it should be a good day, you know, it's moving quite fast. And you know, it stops as soon as you come near. So we have some, well, we really have good light today.
The Hawaiians are also looking for good light, but need the wind to catch up.
And we're going to charge the batteries for the next 2 hours until we start time, and hopefully the wind will be up and we'll be trucking well by then. Okay.
Well, it's looking good for this morning at least. Bit of cloud coming in from Western Australia. We sort of saw coming yesterday. Might be a bit of cloud in the afternoon. I get a map every 3 hours. I'll be getting one at 9:30 and one at 12:30, and we'll sort of review the situation then.
The cloud cover's clearing up, so we should be able to get a reasonable sun load onto our panel and hopefully run between 60 65 kilometres per hour today.
Get that wing installed and we're flying. 44, 49, 47, 39, 42.
We're pretty interested in winning the race, but we're more interested in winning the race for those people who are on competitive terms. That means those people who have the same silicon solar cells and whose performance really does depend on basic engineering. The GM car has brilliant engineering, but it also has twice the power of any other vehicle because it has the only gallium arsenide cells in the race, so they're in a different category.
White cross, yeah. The wind comes, if the weatherman...
Back up a little bit, back up a little bit.
Today. So all day long if the wind stays.
Oh, stop. Where's the top of that? Where is
10
the top?
seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Good time.
You got the countdown, let's go.
Okay, let him go.
Let him go, let him go.
Sunracer confirmed 10.5, over.
10.5. With an entourage of scout cars, observation cars, mobile workshops, a chopper, and a radio telephone equipped communication center, the General Motors Sunracer moves on down the track, while the Hawaiians continue to have problems.
No, it's not. That's not on. It's a foot throttle that you got. If you put that...
Here it is now. I got it.
We got it?
Yeah.
You're on foot throttle.
Bye! Bye, Harry! We love you! Good. Go slow, Harry.
Watch the car and you flip the switch up.
G'day, Mum. There you go.
What do you think about solar power?
I've got it on my camp. I use it all the time. My whole camp's driven by solar. My lights, my TV, my radio, everything. Right into solar, mate. Only way to go up here.
Started using it for cars.
Should have used it years ago. When the power blackouts come, I don't worry.
And if the media will move down the road.
The Ford car on the Swiss entry Spirit of Biel battled it out for second place. As the futuristic cars travel deeper into the Outback, the only signs of civilization are the small fuel stops, where the passing teams become a major event. Pubs give the support crews a chance to wet their whistles and trade war stories, as well as make emergency repairs. The The cars begin to stretch out over 1,000 kilometers down the desolate Stewart Highway. The sky begins to show an unusual storm for this part of the country, and the teams will be put to a test that no one had ever dreamed of. Driving rain, hail, and flash floods cause great damage to solar cells and electrical systems in these fragile vehicles. But most damaging is the loss of time.
The rain doesn't affect us so much because it cools the solar cells down and they are more efficient. Only it doesn't help us when there's no sun. And we should have sun.
I think the important thing will be to get out from under this cloud bank here, because just up the road here, the sky is clear, and if we can use our batteries carefully and get out from under the clouds, then we might be sailing for the rest of the day.
So what is the arrival?
I think we have a 50-50 chance of getting there.
GM escapes the clouds, but the others who are caught in the heavy storm have to slowly wade through the flooded roadways.
Right, you ready? Now, Team Marsupial, we've got to think positive. Think the sun. We won't.
Dick, over there.
Oh, this one. Sorry. Think the sun. But Team Marsupial, we're not going to have a seance around the car because the Hawaiians did that and we had that tremendous rainstorm from then on. So I'm going to see those guys back there. Sun, come in. Hold on, my shadow's on it.
Will the GM Sun Racer be the first to cross the finish line? Find out.
The red center, the middle of Australia, and the halfway point of the route. The Swiss team pulls into the Alice Springs media stop in second place, with the Ford car close behind them.
Wouldn't want to take Mum and the kids out, would you?
Axel! Ganga Funke!
坂も多いけどなんとか乗り切れるだろうと。What do you think of the leading guys? Quite far away now.
Yeah, well, they are in another race, you know. I mean, they are far superior. I think amongst the others, they are more equal. The money they spend on the other side and the money the other teams had available is too different. I mean, there is too much difference. And we are in a good mood. And for me, it was the only ride I was allowed to make, so I feel happy.
Again. Here they come, keep back, please.
Within minutes after the Swiss departure, the Ford team moves into the required media stop. But in their hurry to make time, the Swiss car is hit by an automobile just a block away, causing great injury to both car and driver.
Oh, God, oh, God. Yeah, it's awful, it's awful. I made her a sign to stop, but she didn't stop. She came very quickly. But I don't know. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Jo, daar zal je. Where do you want it? In here?
Come in through. And call the police. Oh. He has something at the foot. He goes to hospital now, and now we look at the car. Perhaps you can do. I think we cannot do anything anymore.
It's very bad luck for them. I spoke to John as we were coming in and to make sure that we offer any assistance that we can to make sure they get their car repaired as quickly as possible. We're very interested in maintaining our competition with them.
Well, we calculate between 3 to 4 hours to fix the necessary, and then we might continue just with a workable road car, and then in the evening hours and tomorrow morning we will do the rest of it.
It's very sad to see this happening. I'm quite happy that we're in front again. Without this, I think it would have been a difficult thing to pull back the miles that the Swiss had in front of us.
After several hours of hard work and against tremendous odds, the Swiss have virtually put their car back together again.
The car, there's nothing wrong with the car. The car is really good. It's just we had some bad battery management and ran our batteries down to a point where we couldn't use them anymore.
We left the switch on the night before last and brought our batteries down to a unbelievable low level. And we just couldn't get it back up. We tried yesterday. We went 67 kilometers just with wind power, but when we came to the hills, it just...
Yeah.
And we didn't have battery to get up the hill. And
the other thing we weren't aware of was the nature of the winds here. The winds here don't just blow across the road. They swirl across in little gusts. And so the car was made to go on a constant wind. That's the design. And so what we would do is we'd speed up and then we'd lose the wind and we'd speed up and lose it again.
And because we didn't have the battery to bring us back up and keep that speed up, we just
couldn't maintain.
But we thought we would take the car home while it was... before it died. It's just wounded now and we can take it home and save it, but we didn't want to kill it. So that's why we decided to drop out.
But now she's gonna go to bed for a while.
How are you doing?
Okay, we're right on. It's the first time it's ever gone in one try. All right. Next stop, Adelaide.
I think we're doing incredibly well because we built this car in 10 weeks. There's 5 of us here. There's about 15 students at school. So to build a car in 10 weeks is pretty hot. And here we are in 10th place. We've had a couple breakdowns because we're from Boston. It's cold there. We can't test in the heat. But we're doing really well. We ran the whole day yesterday. We're students and we're still here. I think we're doing great. It's a really hard race. This is essentially we're out here in the middle of, I wouldn't call it nowhere because it's amazing here, but in the middle of no technical things. But we try really hard, we do our best. And even if we don't get to the end, I'm still proud of our effort because we've done a damn good job.
Right, eh?
I think the spirit of the race, especially with Team Marsupial, is the fact that everyone's a volunteer, no one's being paid. And we're really competing with the other vehicles which have been made with voluntary labour, and there must be, I think there's about 12. Really a race within a race, because there was no real hope that we could compete with General Motors and with Ford, where they've spent tremendous amount of money in superb vehicles. But of course, I think there's always a place for a volunteer group. And as you can see, I think anyone who's called in at our campsite has seen that it's a lot of fun. We found that people have been very friendly on the whole race. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to meet that many other of the races because everyone is spread out over so many hundreds or even thousands of kilometres.
Still struggling to make the halfway mark is the Warrigal Technical School.
Good go. What are you guys doing here?
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty hot and dusty and dirty. Things are going a bit slow, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we've had a bit of trouble with not enough sun in the last couple of days. Today came good again, but the other day we got stuffed halfway up a hill and couldn't get any further. So that's about the limit for us, I think. I don't think we're going to make it to the finish officially by the look of it. We're going to run out of time. Our crew are running a bit out of time and things like that. So. We didn't have much testing before we came away, unfortunately.
Electronics are totally up the creek.
Yeah, electronics are all sorted out now. And we're going to charge our batteries, we think, tonight and pay the penalty for it just to get us a little bit faster on the road.
Just pushed it across.
Why?
Why? Oh, we'd get a bit too rough on that road and could break the axle again.
As the Swiss and Ford teams continue to fight for second place, GM is ahead by 2 days and will go on to win in 44 hours, 54 minutes. setting a record of 5.5 days running time. They reached their average speed of 41.6 miles per hour by drawing on the sun's energy and an electric motor using only 1 1/3 horsepower.
I think the car that was ahead of the race, I heard, would cost about $7 million. So they have to get the cost refined a bit for Australians to be able to buy them. But on our Camels even now, we've got solar panels we take out to charge our wireless batteries up. Wherever I go, we've got a solar panel with us, so it is the up-and-coming thing.
Closing in on Adelaide and the second place finish, Ford is in the lead, with the Swiss not far behind. Ford arrives at the long-awaited finish in second place, 2.5 days behind GM and 2.5 hours ahead of the Swiss. "10 days on the road. Team Marsupial crosses the finish line."
Oh, wonderful trip. What was that, a bit over 3,000 kilometres? Oh, felt like it.
It was a great adventure, a great race with no losers. A journey with the sun that is only now just beginning.
Anyway, just over 3,000 kilometres, all enjoyable. This car, the last few turns I did at over 60 kilometres an hour. I reckon it'll go around that Grand Prix circuit. Not one breakage, absolutely perfect. Beautiful workmanship. Congratulations, Team Marsupial, for building a beautiful car. How about 3 cheers for Team Marsupial? Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And do you know how much fuel for the whole trip? How much fuel for the whole trip? Absolutely nil. It all came free from the sun. Took 8.5 minutes to get here, they tell me.
Coming up next, Holland's famous tulips are